Hi there, Tim Bauer here from LiveVideoGuitarLessons.com with a practice tip of the day. This one is for the beginning player, and today I want to talk about a couple of workarounds for bar chords. Don't get me wrong, you have to learn bar chords, but they're a little bit difficult to deal with at first, and I don't want you to get stuck choosing only songs that don't have bar chords in them. Because if songs are written in the standard 1, 4, 5, 6 minor format, you know, really popular in pop music and country music, and rock is a little different, and jazz is a little different, but basically those two genres, there's only one key that doesn't have a bar chord in it. All the other keys have a bar chord, and that's the key of G. G does not have a bar chord of the 1, 4, 5, or 6 minor chord. But you don't want to get stuck playing everything in the key of G, or only songs in the key of G, and you don't want to have to, you know, use a capo to force everything you're playing to be in the key of G. Plus, you only learn 4 chords that way anyway. Not the best way to get good command over the use of your fingers. All right, so today I'm going to talk about the workaround for an E form major bar chord. This is an E form F chord, and where it comes from this E chord here, and then the whole thing's moved up, and instead of this chord is basically, I'm trying to keep this short, but it's not working out that way. This E chord, if I move it up a half step, I have to put my bar back here to simulate the nut. This black piece is the nut right here. So if I move it up one, now it's F. Move it up another, now it's F sharp. So you just slide it up here. So F sharp. The workaround is we're going to take the highest 4 strings of that. And this is an F chord. It has the 3 notes that make it an F chord. It's just a smaller version of this. This has more, and it has full octave lower root note. So anyway, and this chord is hard enough to learn how to do on its own. So let's kind of jump in and figure out how to even get to this chord, because this is hard. The workaround for the F chord itself is F major 7. And that will work sometimes, maybe 3/4 of the time. Sometimes it just sounds awful. So I mean, you don't want to use that F major 7. What F major 7 is, it's this F chord, but instead of having to bar across 2 strings with this finger, I'm just going to leave it open and put that E note in there, and those 4 notes together make an F major 7 chord, which also has its uses. It's used a lot in jazz and kind of soft rock, but we need to know how to do the F major. Alright, so if you can get these in there for the F major 7 chord, don't worry about the first string, because we're going to do something else on that anyway. So get all 3 of these ringing clearly. And then no matter what you have to do, it doesn't matter how pretty it is or anything, because it's not going to be pretty. It's probably going to, you know, it's going to be uncomfortable when you first put this chord down. You have to roll this first finger over so that you're covering 2 strings. And it's okay if you get this real harsh angle on there. As long as you get those 2 strings down and get it to ring, that's fine. Repetition will smooth it out, and after you've done it 500 times, it'll be a whole lot prettier than it is the first time you do it. Whatever you have to do to get it down. So you just kind of roll it over, and try not to change the angle of these. And just kind of roll it over. You can kind of catch it on the side of your finger. You know, that's the easiest way to get to it. Sometimes you might have to start it from the other side and try to get these 2 down first, and then try to work these fingers into place. But it usually doesn't work as well that way, because you end up leaning these fingers over, and then everything's all muted. So anyway, we can use that for bar chords all the way up the neck, because there are no open strings in this F chord. Once you figure out how to get that in there and get accustomed to it, I can, because I'm not playing any open strings, I can slide this whole thing up like a bar chord. So there's F. If I need F sharp, now it's F sharp. Move it up again, now it's G. You probably wouldn't need it because you have the open G, but that makes G. So then G sharp, and then A, and then A sharp. And it goes all the way through the musical alphabet. When you get to the 13th fret, it's F again. And a little out of tune up here, it sounds like. So anyway, that's one workaround. When you get used to that, you can make it a little bigger, and keep in mind it's the highest 4 notes of this full F chord. So if you get used to the 4 notes there, the 4 strings, you can add this note here. That's using 5 of the 6 strings from the full F chord. And that's not too hard to get to. Once you can do that, it's not too hard to get to this. Just throw this finger over here and put your little finger down where where this finger was. And it's kind of the same feel. You're kind of leaning really hard on that the bar, the knuckle across the 2 strings there. Same thing. This is technically, it's an F with a C bass because the lowest note you hear is C, but C belongs in the chord. It just doesn't belong on the bottom unless you're playing an inverted chord, which we actually are, but it will substitute for the F because the notes that are in an F chord are F, A, and C anyway, so it belongs there, just not high. So same thing, so F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. You can use that. You can play all all the positions all the way up the neck with that. All right. If you need kind of a low end workaround for that, we're again getting back to this chord. You can do a fifths interval. You've seen this probably in tabs and stuff you've been looking at. People refer to them as power chords. It's power chord is kind of slang. It's not really a chord at all. You have to have 3 notes to make a real chord, but people just refer to them as that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just doing the same thing. I'm just working it from the low strings here. So there's my F root, and then I'm just going to take away all this other stuff from the bar chord and just leave that. So that's my first, and that's my 5th interval. So you kind of use those if you need kind of the low end of it. It's the same thing. These were true F chords on the bottom. These are not true F chords until we get 4 fingers on there, but you consider it F. So this is F, and that's F sharp, and that's G, and that's G sharp. Same thing. Walk it up. When you get accustomed to doing that, add this finger, and this is another F note. So it's still not a full chord yet. I have 2 F notes and a C note, so it's still an F fifths interval, the power chord. Same thing. Move it up. And this one's kind of hard to mess up because it doesn't really matter much how your fingers are lying. It's hard to accidentally mute strings with that. So definitely do not rely on this solely. Don't play a whole bunch of songs. I've seen this happen a lot. Students come to me and all they've been doing is playing power chords, everything power chord. And if you do that for month after month after month, you'll get to the point where it's so difficult to break the bad habit of leaning your fingers over incorrectly, or lazily is the better way to say it. It's like changing the course of the Mississippi River to get you to unbreak that habit. It can be very, very difficult. So make sure you're not doing only power chords. Do some other chords, G and E minor and D or whatever. Just make sure that, you have some chords you have to actually form your hand correctly. All right, so as you get used to these for the workaround, then you can add this finger, and we still don't need the bar yet. And now we do have an F chord because now we have 2 F notes, a C note, and an A note. So that's a full F. And same thing. Walk it up through the positions. If you need a G sharp, find a G sharp note here. Put your fingers down. There you go. All right. So once you get all these down, it's pretty easy to get to the rest of the full F. So you've done, even though it was a workaround, it's a workaround with purpose because all that will help you get to the full F bar chord. And it's kind of the same thing. It's all I need is these 2 strings down here, and I have to catch them with my first finger. So if I can get this in place, what I'm going to do, I'm going to straighten this finger out, and I'm going to try to distribute the weight evenly, or the pressure evenly, so that I have pressure here on the 6th string and pressure on strings 1 and 2. You don't really need it. You have to keep it a bar, but you don't really need any pressure on strings 5, 4, and 3 because these fingers are holding it down there. So you can kind of get from here and just kind of play the bar a little bit on the side of your finger. You'll notice I guess the bone is closer to the skin. I'm not sure what it is, but you'll notice that the side of your finger here is not nearly as soft as the inside here. So you kind of roll it over on its side and put pressure on it. And it's usually a matter of it'll probably sound like this the first time you put it down, and you'll still be losing these. If you imagine a circle around your guitar, people usually overcorrect. That's like the biggest problem. Imagine a circle around your guitar. Circle has 360 degrees. If you're losing strings 2 and 3 from your bar, it's not. You need to rotate that circle, the bar, back. It's usually about 2 or 3 degrees. people overcorrect and they'll take it 15 degrees around, and then all of a sudden nothing's working. So anyway, hopefully that works or helps. It will work if you apply the techniques there. So anyway, well, thanks for tuning in. This one ran a little long. I hope I didn't lose you toward the end there. Just had a lot of territory to cover. And by the way, once you get that down, same thing. Once you have the full chord, walk, there's F sharp, there's G, G sharp, A, just goes through the whole alphabet. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for this practice tip. Don't get frustrated with it. This particular exercise can be very frustrating. And tune in again tomorrow for another one, and I will see you soon. Thanks.